Hello guys! Welcome back to my channel. It's me again, Lakwat-Sirong Butiki. Mula doon sa makasaysayang simbahan ng Bail, Laguna, ang St. Augustine Parish Church o mas kilala sa tawag na Bail Church. Nakatawid na ang Butiki ngayon dito sa makasaysayan rin na simbahan ng Alaminos, Laguna, ang Our Lady of the Pilar Parish Church o mas tanyag rin sa pangalan na Alaminos Church. Samahan niyo ako dito guys! In the quiet yet prosperous town of Alaminos, Laguna, a quiet yet historic church in the area is gradually emerging as a notable Marian pilgrimage site in the province of Laguna. Aside from Pakil, Pagsanhan, Los Baños, Mabitak, Santa Maria, Pasita, and Binyan, among others. The parish located in Alaminos is the home of one of the most popular Marian avocation in the country, Nuestra Señora del Pilar. There are 4 images of the Virgin of the Pilar that became focal points of devotion for centuries in this quiet time. The original ivory image and its processional counterpart that are currently under the custodianship of the heirs of Bernabila Fadino, and the wooden church images, the old main image, and a larger altar image. Typical to Pilarica images, the 4 venerated images stands on a pillar. The Virgin's mantle is draped on her, while the Niño holds a dove in one hand. The Virgin wears an imperial crown, while the Niño has 3 potencias. The first image is known as the Matandang Birhen, where she stands at an approximate height of around 3 feet, with ivory mask and hands. The second image is known as the Batang Birhen, where the image is a visitor type image of the Madonna and Child. She stands on a small pillar inside an urna, but her actual pillar is fixed onto her carroza. Like the Matandang Birhen, the body is made of wood, but the face mask and hands of both mother and child are of ivory. The third image tagged as the Birhing Patrona, and the fourth image, currently enthroned in the altar, are made of wood and designed as detallado images with wheels already curved, in contrast to the first 2 ivory images that wears a set of wigs. The devotion to the Virgin of the Pilar in Alaminos, Laguna began when a certain lady named Bernabila Fandino found an ivory image with a wooden body of the Virgin of the Pilar in one of the wheels of the town. Out of curiosity and reverence to this providential find, she kept this image to her home. The first image would be later to be known as Ang Matandang Birhen. The news of the finding of the image became known to the town, and people began to visit the Fandino household to see the image out of curiosity. That curiosity later developed into a fervent devotion, for numerous favors were granted through the intercession of the Virgin of the Pilar. The parish of Alaminos was first dedicated to Saint Joachim, the father of the Blessed Virgin Mary, and was established in 1815. However, due to the popularity of the Virgin, this prompted the faithful of the area to proclaim her as the principal patroness of the town, replacing San Joaquin. Although it was a move gratefully accepted by the local church, it became a challenge for the parish priest at that time. Many go and make devotions in front of the image, but few would go to Mass. To resolve the issue, the parish priest later requested for the transfer of the Matandang Birhen to the parish church, but for some reasons, this did not push through. An agreement was then settled. The heirs of the family would commission an image for church use, which was later to be known as the Batang Birhen. However, the challenge still remained. Even though the Batang Birhen is freely lent to the parish, it is not staying full-time in the church. In order to solve this, the parish priest then decided to commission an altar image made of wood, which will be later known as the Birhing Patrona. The Birhing Patrona became the altar image of the titular from the time it was commissioned until late in the 90s, when the altar was renovated and a new altar image was commissioned. The Birhing Patrona remained in the parish, occasionally being used during First Saturdays, Dalaw Patrona sa mga barangay, Fiesta Novena processions, and other activities focused on the propagation of devotion to the patroness. Whenever it was home, the Birhing Patrona was placed at the lobby of the Eucharistic Adoration Chapel to welcome and send off devotees who come to worship her Son in the Most Blessed Sacrament. At present, the two antique ivory images are kept by the three families which are the heirs of Bernabila Fandinho. The heirs take turns yearly in hosting the Matandang Birhen in prayer rooms adjacent to their houses. These prayer rooms are open for the public who wish to pray before the venerated image. In 2013, one lunchtime, the people noticed a strange van parked near the Adoration Chapel. The people seemed not to mind this strange van until it was discovered that the Birhing Patrona was stolen. Initial efforts was made for the recovery of the image, yet it was no avail at that time. With no trace of who stole the image for the meantime, a replacement image was commissioned from Paiti, which will be intended for the bicentennial jubilee celebration of the parish in 2015. This image was called the bicentennial image. The search for the stolen image ended in September 2017, 4 years after the theft. The devotees saw some photos of the lost image of the Birhing Patrona on social media site Facebook from a Marian exhibit that was held in one of the malls in Manila and later in a special Pilarica exhibit in preparation for the then upcoming canonical coronation of Nuestra Señora del Pilar de Manila that same year. After months of much careful study and verification to the custodian of the image, it was finally identified that it was the lost Venerada of Alaminos. The image made a triumphal return to her home on February 25, 2018, with much rejoicing of the people of Alaminos. To commemorate this historic return of their patroness, the current parish priest decreed that February 25 will be known as the Piestang Pangbabalik to commemorate the return of the Birhing Patrona to her home. Months later, the Birhing Patrona had a major restoration because it was discovered that when she was stolen, the incarna of the image was sacrilegiously sanded off to reveal the details of the image to sell the image to antique collectors. The image at present is kept in the Parish baptistry and locked for safekeeping but visible to devotees. The gates of the baptistry are opened on Saturdays and Sundays after the 6:30 a.m. Mass for public veneration called Pahalik sa Birhing Patrona. Numerous miracles were reported through the intercession of the Virgin of the Pilar over the years. Most of the miracles that were attributed to her ranging from healing, reconciliation of families and friends, having children, passing examinations, employment, among others. There was one instance that when the image was kept under a tent, it rained very hard that the tent was about to collapse. It only did once they were able to retrieve the image from the tent. There was also a story when the town decided not to have the October fiesta, and at the dawn of October 12, a marching band came to town and was telling that a woman and a child came to them and asked that they play for the fiesta in Alaminos. Another instance was there was a lady who was facing a very difficult problem, felt very helpless. One day, she came to church and heard a voice describe it as very motherly and gentle, calling her name. Her attention was shifted to the image, and then she realized it might be the patroness who was calling her. The devotion to the Virgin of the Pilar of Alaminos, Laguna proves to stand the test of time and showing signs of resilience over the years. Her devotees continue to increase over the years as numerous miracles were reported through her miraculous intercession. One feast day is not enough to celebrate and give thanks to the Virgin of the Pilar of Alaminos. The series of fiestas begin on January 2, the anniversary of the apparition of the Virgin to Saint James the Great, called Piestang Venida. The recently implemented Piestang Pagbabalik every February 25, a summer fiesta set on May 20 to commemorate the canonical coronation of the original image in Saragossa, Spain, and the most celebrated of all is her liturgical feast day every October 12. Mula naman dito sa Our Lady of the Pilar Parish Church, dito sa Alaminos, Laguna, tatawid na ang butiki papuntang San Mateo, Rizal next week. Isang makasayang simbahan naman ang tutumbukin ko doon, ang Diocesan Shrine and Parish of Our Lady of Aranzazu, o mas kilala sa tawag na San Mateo Church. Abangan niyo ko dun, guys! Bye-bye!